You know, I've worked pretty hard over the years on maintaining my posture, maintaining my spine angle, looking for solutions or drills to maintain the posture, keep the butt back. I ended up watching a lot of YouTube videos back in those days. But now that I look back on all those hours of instructional videos that I watched on this one topic, I don't think anybody ever explained why we need to keep the rump back, maintain the spine angle going through the shot, and not pop up with the hips forward and the head standing up and the shaft getting tall. All I knew that I wasn't supposed to, that I was supposed to come down more like this. Well, let's see if I can explain the why. I think the answer is going to really help you improve. Stay tuned. Now, fixing this move here, what we might call early extension, referring to the hips going from a flex position into an extended position too soon. We should be waiting to complete our turn before we push the hips into extension, but we should be maintaining the flexion or possibly even increasing the flexion as we come down into the ball. This has drastically helped many of my in-person students. One of my favorite students, Paul, just reported his best score of the year, a 73 at Indian Wells. Pretty good for a guy who has been a 6 handicap for a long time. He's hitting his driver much straighter because of improving this one aspect of his swing. Same thing with my student Elwin. He's gone from a 14 down to a 5. A lot of the blame or a lot of the credit goes to his continuing improvement on maintaining this initial angle that he starts from. But why, Steve? Why do we need to do this? We get that it works and it helps all of your students, and we hope it'll help us. So a simple 3-word answer here would be improved hand path. So we've talked on this channel a lot about the path of the handle, the water ski boat. When the water ski boat pulls, the water skier follows or responds to it. The head being the water skier, the shaft being the tow rope. In this case, the benefits we're going to get off of maintaining, or like the best of all time, Hogan, Trevino, a lot of these great ball strikers actually increased their hip flexion by not just maintaining the rump line, but increasing it by pushing this chair up in the air like that. You see people like Dustin Johnson currently doing that move. So why improved hand path? Well, number one, because as you maintain this bend, it forces your hand path to get shallow. So shallow meaning the club is not doing a Ferris wheel this way, like it would do more so when you early extend. You're going to end up swinging a lot more on a vertical. But instead, when you bow, and you can do this experiment at home, try moving forward off the chair and bending as far as your hamstrings will allow, like this, and now practice making sweep divots. And you'll see that this is forcing me to make incredibly low and around swings, barely above my waist. What it forces me to do is to shallow the hand path, make it much more of a horizontal. The Ferris wheel is tipped halfway into a merry-go-round. Now that is one big secret to shallowing the club, by shallowing the hand path. The second thing that it's going to do, if I take this stick here, let's see if I can do this by myself without a second person. I'm starting, and I could hold the stick right here. Now, if I take this back, and then suddenly my hips they might go towards the target, but I'm going to now occupy this lane, this avenue that is meant for my hand path. All of a sudden, I can no longer fit this club and arm through the slot. It's going to push my hand path out further away onto the wrong track, keeping the hand path laser beam into right field for too long will not enable it to turn the corner quick enough. It's going to get the handle very tall, the shaft tall, and I'm going to go into the blocky, flippy phenomenon. Again, if I keep the rump back, I keep out of this space. I do not want the pelvis to occupy this space that the handle is supposed to be swinging around an arc right through. If you interfere with the efficient arcing of the handle path close to the pockets, you're going to end up with not only a slower club head speed, but you're going to end up with a lot of extra rotation or rate of closure of the face through the immediate impact zone. One more added key benefit besides improved hand path, another key three-word phrase, and that is improved ground forces. When you leave the chair and you go into early extension, that often involves a right foot and knee doing something like this. You're shifting not towards your target line, but instead across second base into right field like this. The weight is now in the left instep. It keeps me from being stable and balanced. If you are going to stand on one leg, try to stand on one leg right now with your heel off the ground and all your weight into your instep. You're going to find it's going to be a very hard time to get stable and balanced without full use of my arms to help me balance. It's very difficult. Try that. You'll see right away that when you balance on one leg, which the golf swing asks you to do as you step through, you're essentially getting braced hard on that left leg. Look how much easier it is to balance if I put a majority of the weight into my heel instead. We're supposed to balance more towards our heels. So when the butt stays back or even lifts the chair, you can see the weight is being planted into the outside of my heel to give me the most stable brace to hit against. Also, what we're doing when we keep the butt back, we're able to plant more vertical force through our left foot down into the ground, again increasing not only the rotation of the torso's speed, but also the brace or the stability for which we can now throw while maintaining our balance. Now, if you watch the video I did while sitting on a bar stool, you'll see that without good ground forces to stabilize me, I cannot throw to my maximum ability or maximum velocity without being thrown backwards. Think of how a cannon works. When you fire a cannon, it's the reason a cannon is on wheels, so that it can give action, reaction, physics. You fire something this way, you're going to get an equal and opposite reaction this way. So as it turns out, the why do we want to maintain the posture? Why do we want to keep the butt back? A lot of really substantial reasons, as it turns out, that all affect in a huge way distance and accuracy. It becomes very difficult to play really good golf out of this move. Sure, you might be able to time it, get pretty good, get your handicap into the single digits. But I'll bet you if I took you to a breezy canyon course with a lot of OBs, hazards, and lost ball potential, I'll bet you're going to fall apart, because that variable club face is inevitably going to get you in trouble. And if you're playing a course that does not allow that kind of spray pattern, you're just never going to play it that well. So instead, get your patio chair out. Make sure you're doing this every single day. Get an old club, leave it out there by the patio door and just practice staying on the chair on the backswing, shifting your left cheek back into the chair, sliding the chair, lifting the chair off the ground at least an inch, and throwing the club through, finishing with the left hip still attached, even raising the chair legs off the ground. I can't tell you how much you will improve the closer you get to being perfect at doing this. You don't have to be perfect to play good golf. You just have to be closer than probably where you currently are now. Now on the driving range, you'll want to also do some lift the chair drills. You don't have to bring a chair with you, but I hope you have a stand-up golf bag. Put the head covers right up against your rump. Do some soft shots, lifting the chair and holding it off the ground until the ball lands, or holding your left hip against your head covers until the ball lands. Now right away, that may not guarantee that you're using this avenue for your hand path here. You may still end up coming out too far in space because you're so used to it, but it's certainly going to set you up later on for improving your hand path. You've already got the better ground forces working. You're going to pick up some speed. The accuracy will come later. All right, I'm going to go back to work on maintaining my spine angle, because it's always a good idea to revisit and drill things that you used to do poorly back in your past, because if we leave them alone for too long, they can tend to creep back. So I'm going to go back, work on it just a little bit more. But hey, thanks so much for watching. I'm Steve. I hope that this explains the why to you, why it's so important to learn this skill and get good at it. As usual, I'll either see you in the next video or I will see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.